Hey guys, we are potting up tomatoes. Let's get into it. Tomatoes. We started these 4 weeks ago and I told you I would show you how to pot it up in the same pot, in solo cups, and using trays. We're gonna start with this one. Now this one I told you 4 weeks ago that we were only gonna put a little soil in and then we would top it up as it grew, and that's how we're gonna pot it up. Now you can see, I hope you can see, there's a lot of stem here that's nice and open. So we've got a lot of stem that we could bury. And remember, tomatoes make roots along their entire stem. We don't need anything special. We're just gonna do some potting soil. Top it up. And we're done. Perfect, good to go. We're looking for 3 signs that our tomatoes are ready for potting up. The first one is that they have at least 2 sets of true leaves. So you can see here and here we've got 2 sets, 2 sets, 2 sets. And this rule of thumb works for just about any plant, that you want 2 sets of true leaves before you plant it out. This is looking perfect. Next, we want some white healthy roots. White roots are the feeder roots. So these are exactly what you're looking for. If they've turned dark or discolored in any way, they're starting to rot. And then the last one we're looking for, oh, sorry, my allergies. The last one we're looking for is we're looking to be able to take it out easily. Now I want to clarify, we do not just grab the stem and yank it out. That's how you break your plant. If you break the stem, it's game over. It's dead. There is no coming back from that. If I rip a leaf off, it'll grow it back. If we rip some roots, it'll grow it back. So all you're gonna do is we're gonna support the soil as it's coming out. So I'm gonna put my hand around, tip it over, give it a little boop from below. And these ones are from Epic, but you can also get similar ones from Bootstrap. And they have a really big hole, which makes pushing it out really easy. That's a hawk. All right, and it should stay together. Tip it over, give it a little boop from below, and it should stay together. There we go. Perfect. Now remember, tomatoes make roots along their entire stem, so we want to plant it deeply. And if you have, I have a tray, this is about 2 inches by 3 inches for the cells. I'm just gonna put it sideways and then I'll use the leaf to hold it up and support it so that it goes upright. Let me show you. So sideways, and you don't need any special soil. This is just a potting mix. It's not screened or sifted or anything. So I am breaking up some of the chunks where it's gotten a little clumpy. And I have pre-moistened it so that it's not super dry. There we go. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do is I don't wanna break the stem. So I'm gonna support it using one of the leaves. I'm gonna backfill. And then I'm gonna gently firm down. So just gently around there. That's looking pretty good. I'm gonna keep adding until the soil's to the top. That looks perfect. Now, I have 144 of this. I've got 144 tomatoes going right now. That is more than any human needs. But most of you'll know, I used to be a school teacher. I quit last year once I did the math and realized I could never retire. And I'm going back to school to become a computer programmer, software engineer. But until then, I'm working part-time as a substitute teacher, which barely covers like 80% of my bills. So that means I have no money in the budget for gardening, which is not optional for me. So that's why I'm growing so many plants, is I'm gonna sell these, trade these, I'll trade some of these to get more plants for my garden. I'll sell some to get a little bit of cash. And it's an easy way for me to make just a little bit of income. But for you, If you're a normal person, if you're not insane like me, you probably only need at most 5, maybe 10 tomato plants to be self-sufficient for one person. And it depends on how much you eat of tomato-based things, of course. And then the other thing I would recommend is keeping a few in reserve as extras. Okay, let's get these in. Nice and plants are a little bit more robust than you may think. Tomatoes naturally grow on riverbanks down in a more temperate area. I want to say in the rainforest. I've got to look that up. But they naturally grow on the riverbanks, so they're used to having wet feet, and they really love a lot of nutrients. So I will be giving them a low dosage of feed. I use spit fertilizer. It is horrendously stinky, but it is very good for them. And I dilute it about half strength of whatever the bottle says. I can't remember, but I put about half strength, and I feed them about once a week like this, and they will bulk up very quickly and be an impressive size when it's time to plant out. All right. We should also know if it's below 50 degrees at night, you want to bring them inside. Taking them outside so that they can have sunshine, air circulation. As the wind goes across them, it really strengthens them up. You're really going to get much more robust and strong plants. And the sun is 1,000 times better than any grow light you can get. But having them outside does mean that they could get cold shock. If it's below 50 degrees, the plants have a really hard time adjusting or coming back from that. All right, let's talk solo cup. Now, solo cup, you're probably thinking, oh, I gotta put some holes in it. Absolutely, you do for drainage, but I cut a tab. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, I'm a little nervous that my nieces and nephews watch this and that I'm not being super safe, but I'm trying to be. So I cut a slit here, and then I'm gonna cut this way and this way. I find it's easier if I put another cup underneath. It makes it a little stronger. I don't know if I can cut this on camera. Let me rephrase that. I don't know if I can cut it. I don't know if I can hold it safely at an angle you can see. There we go. Okay. A big hole at the bottom that I can push the plant out with. Now I will let this come back down. So I'll have it like this when I put the soil in, and the water will still leak out. And if not, I'll put some extras on the sides. But then when it comes time to plant it out, I can just give a little push from the bottom, much easier. I like to put a little soil in the bottom first, hoping you can see. I don't know what angle I need to be at, but the soil's about, oh, there we go, about here. And then I'll put the tomato on top. I got a lot of doubles in this one. I must have replanted. Come on. Okay, again, support, push. This one, its roots is kind of stuck to the other ones. Once I have the roots part their way out, I like to grab them. Makes it easier. Roots! Now you can see I have 2. Now I've got a couple of options here. If one is a lot bigger than the other, I'd cut the small one off and just pinch. Now, because I have 144 and I can afford to lose 1 or 2, I'm gonna try to separate them. So these are still pretty flexible. I'm gonna push them down gently, and I'm gonna put my thumbs in the middle, and I'm pushing on the base like below where the roots are. And I'm just carefully pulling them apart. This one that has more, I'm gonna put them back in a spot. This one, we're gonna just put right in here. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna show you. We're gonna take off the seed leaves. So the seed leaves are down about a ½ inch from the other ones. Well, you know, maybe 3/8 of an inch. Don't rip it. You're gonna nip them off with your fingers like this. Gone. for the other camera. Ta-da. Okay, I'm gonna set this guy in here. And then carefully, I'm holding it by its leaf so that if it breaks, I'm not out my whole plant. I'm just out a leaf. I learned that from Monty Don. Monty Don is an amazing gardener. He's from the UK. If you look up something called Gardener's World, I am sure you will enjoy that program. He also does like tours of amazing gardens around the world. Really fun garden content. All right. And the last thing that I always forget, label. This one is a big rainbow. And we're done. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Here's your garden chores.
This week's garden chores. Most of our English peas have come up, but we still have a few bare patches. That's pretty typical, and all we do is replant those areas. Remember to keep your garden well watered. I'll be planting these fig trees in ground in the next few weeks, so I'm moving them around the yard to try them out in different places. Unfortunately, this dolly has two wheels that are more square than round and decided to get caught in every gopher hole along the way. This one was much easier. I continue to wage war on this overgrown garden where the bamboo is trying to take over. This grapevine almost won the tug of war, but I'm a stubborn woman, and I refuse to give up. I did, however, fall on my butt. I'll use the bamboo as garden stakes and mulch the leaves. And surprise, surprise, I continue to use up the dump truck of mulch I got when my neighbor had their tree taken down.